Should the IJ legislative team start a newsletter for interested people, state representatives, lobbyists, policy analysts, and so on, to give them a flavour of what's going on across the country in some of the areas IJ works in, so property rights, economic liberty, free speech, and so on? We just came out of our monthly legislative team strategy meeting where we talked about all the successes we've had this year, and it's been a good year. Hired new people, including myself as a new legislative counsel. My colleague as well is new. We have a new policy analyst currently work out of our Texas office. So we're growing and we're accomplishing a lot of good things, I think, all across different states, not just in Texas, but across the country. But there's always more to do and things to learn and things to do better. And one of the things that we think is that because we really have this bird's eye view of different legislative activities going on in state legislatures all across the country, that gives us kind of visibility into different trends that are happening that other people might miss. And particularly if you're a state legislator or you're a policy analyst working in just one state, that can obviously take up your whole job, and you don't necessarily notice some of these trends that are happening in other places. Whereas an organization like the Institute for Justice, because we create model policy, because we draft legislation for representatives in all different states, we'll go testify, we'll go to committee hearings, we'll take meetings, we'll work with our activism and our communications team. That gives us quite good visibility onto what's going on around the country, particularly I think in the area of housing and zoning, where housing's having a real moment at the right now. People understand the depth of the housing crisis, and they really they're looking to zoning reform as a key solution. But that's taking different shape in different states, and some states are a lot more advanced, and other states are only just starting to grapple with this issue. IJ has a lot of visibility on what's going on with this, and I think one way that we might add value as a legislative team is to share some of that with our kind of trusted insiders, with people who are interested in and share IJ's kind of small L libertarian approach to these issues. We can give them a flavour of what's going on, what's working, what isn't working, what's happening, if there have been interesting committee hearings, which bills are succeeding, which bills are failing, and why. And just generally providing that kind of overall national intelligence that people can then take back and actually apply to their own states. It's something I put forward as an idea. Obviously, I do a lot of social media, so I'm sharing videos and updates on Twitter and X and doing all that kind of stuff. But I think a newsletter lets you go into a bit more detail, go into some longer form, and share some of those thoughts. Not spamming people's inboxes, but every couple of weeks, just sharing an update while the legislative sessions are going on, to let people know and give them hopefully some inspiration on how they can enact good policy in their states. So I'm interested to know, do you think this is a good idea? Should the IJ legislative team start a newsletter? What should its focus be? What kind of things we should include? I'd love to get your thoughts and comments. I know there are a few of you state legislators that do watch this, so I'd especially love to hear from you. Please let me know.